there's no time in your life where you didn't play a video game, where it was a phone in a phone, the snake in the cell phone,
Yeah,
where you
yeah,
have
yeah.
to get the dots all the time. So
Right.
I believe that.
Hi everyone, and today I'm here with Juan from Isurus Gaming. And Juan, how are you? I mean, like I hear you're in Spain these days. How's first of all, how are you, and how's life in Spain on a business trip?
Ah, Hi, Martin. Yeah, really great. It's been since a long time since I didn't have a long trip, so it's
Yeah,
like weird in a kind of way, but
yeah.
it's nice to be back and to travel around the world. So thank you for the opportunity to be here, and gladly to be here.
Well, absolutely. It's our pleasure to have you part of this, of course, and sharing more about your insights and your story, I guess, in the esport industry. And I think you're very right. I mean, like I've been stuck in my tiny city in Norway for I don't know since the pandemic started, and haven't really been out there. So I can understand it's kind of weird, just taking
Yeah,
a first big travel again, and I guess like meeting different cultures and doing normal business in a sense as well. But I'm sure you are enjoying it as well.
yeah. Also the food, yeah,
Right,
which I
right.
miss really much. Yeah, but yeah.
But you're originally from Argentina, right? And take us a little bit to like kind of like your, I guess, journey in the esport industry. Like how did it all begin, and I guess also your passion for gaming in life.
Yeah, uh, it's a really strange story.
Well, we're open for it.
Yeah, I always love video games. I always, since I was really little, I played a lot of video games and a lot of.
Right.
I started with playing Sega Genesis and then all Nintendo 64,
Yeah.
GameCube, and Xbox and PlayStation. Always video games were like a way of surviving my childhood, which was really hard, and I use it that to escape from that reality, and it helped me a lot during those times. Then I like have a hobby like playing every time. I know when my mom went to bed, I play Super Mario or Zelda, or those games were my favorites. I was I when there was like cybers in cyber cafes. I used to play with my friends Counter-Strike 1.6,
Nice.
and I didn't get to be a professional player because I was really mad when I lost. So
Right.
it was not going to be my path really.
Right.
But then I always be passionate about video games and comics and movies,
Right.
and in 2000 I always wanted to be in that industry,
Mm.
but I had my other dream that was soccer. My father was a manager in soccer, and I always wanted to be part of it.
Yeah.
And I think it was in 2011 when I proposed my father to start to do something to represent streamers that started because in 2011 started to be more developed Twitch and
Right.
YouTube, and
Yeah.
the streamers industry was starting to grow, and I told him to do that. He was more like he didn't saw that in that time. And then
Mm.
in 2017, we discussed to make a project about it,
Right.
but then he sadly died,
Yeah.
and I continued that idea later when I started working in one of the most important events in Latin America that is called Argentina Game Show.
Mm.
And there, at the same time, one friend of mine told me that maybe I can start a master in esports, where I did in the International University of Valencia, and there I started the master and in esports, and then I started working in that event, and in that event I started to meet different teams,
Mhm.
and I met the owner of Isurus, and there we have like a small talk,
Yeah.
It was the owner of Isurus is a person of not too many words,
Yeah.
but at that time we crossed numbers, and I believe the next month he started talking to me. It was really strange how the conversation started. He asked me if I was watching the CS:GO team,
Mm.
and I really wasn't. But as the owner of Isurus talked to me, I started browsing and seeing
Yeah.
where Isurus was playing, and I told him, of course, I'm watching Isurus. It's a
Yeah.
really funny story, and he knew that I wasn't watching, but we always have fun of that story. And
Yeah.
I started when we start the conversation. He told me what I was doing, and I told him about my project that I was starting esports,
Mm.
and then he told me if I wanted to come into Isurus like a sports director
Mm.
in the League of Legends team, and I told him that
Yeah.
yeah, of course. And then I started in February of 2019,
Right.
and it was a great year for Isurus. We
Yeah.
we were two times champion in the Latin American League of Legends
Awesome.
league, and then of course in CS:GO we qualified to the DreamHack Dallas CS:GO Pro League. It was a really great year for us,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's the crazy story about my life and how I started in gaming. I mean
No, for
esports.
sure, for sure. I mean, like, I kind of like just have to go back a little bit to your temper at the esports or like the gaming side. Like, how many keyboards and controllers did you
Many,
destroy?
yeah, many controllers and keyboards. Yeah, many. There was a time when I think I have my best friend.
Yeah.
He has a younger brother. He was, I think, 10 years old, and he went to play with us. I was
Right.
much bigger,
Yeah.
and we were playing Counter Strike, and he killed me, and I was so angry that I stood up in the middle of this zebra and told who was the one who killed me, and he was
Right.
so little. He said
Oh no.
he like he hide.
Poor guy.
It was really fun. Yeah,
But
but
it's
then it's the passion,
yeah.
it's something. Yeah,
I mean, like that's just how it is, you know. Like it's just the passion coming out, and I
yeah,
just
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like I had to bring that back up.
I
Yeah.
am so passionate about soccer, so it's like all the time. It's like but both things combined and being
Right.
so competitive that
Well,
in either sport you take it out.
we have like a lot of stories, I guess, about South American, football fans in general. I guess like
I know.
their passion, which I think
Yeah.
is like is definitely on my list, to like go on one of the matches and then see that passion. Perhaps maybe we'll meet up one day in the future, like in Argentina or something, and you can take me to one of the
Yeah, of course.
matches there.
Yeah,
but
of course.
but moving on, of course, I don't want to go too much into this, but now, of course, you're the CEO, COO at the Isurus Gaming, and I guess like if you could sort of like map out like some of your key responsibilities, what are some of the tasks that you're working on right now?
It's right now. Yeah, as I told you, I started like sport director, and then like everything happens, we built a really great relationship with Kala, and he told me that he wanted me to be his partner in Isurus.
Mhm.
So he told me also not only to be his partner, but to also to be the CEO of the company. And what I started to develop was a more turning Isurus Gaming in a company, a really
Right.
company
Yeah.
that is right now that we are. It is Isurus Group, and we have now different type of businesses inside Isurus. We have Isurus Gaming, we have a company that represents influencers, and then we have Isurus Studio, which is our own communications agency
Mhm.
specializing helping endemic or non-endemic agents to insert themselves into the gaming esports industry. I
Right.
prefer to say that way because gaming is more bigger than esports. Esports
Yep.
like a smaller uh, part of the gaming industry.
Mhm.
And as a COO, I try to be connected with every area of the company and to try to um, bring up every best part of it and to develop every area in the best way possible, in the most efficiently way.
Right.
That it means to work with each area to know what they are missing, or how to work, how to create a better environment inside each team, right?
Right.
And to see where we are going through. That's my main work inside as
Yeah.
a COO, right?
And I guess also like kind of like with your previous experience as the sporting director, it's sort of like
Yeah.
you have that relationship, with the different kind of teams, and sort of like already knowing a little bit of what they
Mhm.
need, and how to kind of like, okay, that communication, I guess, is already in place, which is always good, in your current role.
Yeah, nowadays is millennials and uh, companies are really different from traditional companies.
Mm.
Uh, the, 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 the the leadership that you have to be is not like you are the boss and then you have like a pyramid, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
more horizontal
Yeah. Yeah.
hierarchy inside the company in some kind of ways, although you have to respect that pyramid in some kind of ways, but you are more connected. Like a startup, you are more connected
Right.
to every department inside, and you have
Yeah.
to know what happens every day, because you are like it's really, it's a 24/7 environment where we
Okay.
work. So every area inside Isurus is connected, and you have to be all the time. Although you say how the legal department is connected with the finance, and how the finance connected with the communication and marketing department, it's um, they are connected because
Mhm.
it's like a cycle which depends from each other, although they are quite independent, right?
Right. Right. For sure. And I mean, like, I guess, if you want to dig back a little bit into, like, I guess how obviously we've been living in a pandemic for probably, almost 2 years, which is crazy to believe in at this point. But looking a little bit about, like, the pandemic itself, like from an operational standpoint, I guess, how did that impact, the organization, and I guess like the group itself.
I think it didn't impact so much because we operate in all Latin America and we operate remotely.
Mm.
So that didn't affect us really like a traditional company where you have to go to one office and you work
Yeah.
there, and you have to change your strategy and to be how to create uh, when you're connected from other countries, how you connect, and you have to take all into your place, and you have to buy computers and you have to connect. And we when the pandemic started, we started using more, for example, other tools like Slack, Asana,
Mm.
to develop better, to be more efficient in the task that we have to
Right.
do, because the pandemic in some kind of way created like this environment that you have to be 24/7 connected, or maybe sometimes you are tired and you are not so connected, you are always in your place, and
Right.
maybe sometimes you lose the time control
Mm.
context.
Okay.
So we need to be more efficient in that way. So we
Yep.
create like different tools inside that, because in that kind of way, yeah, it changed a little bit the impact, because you are all the time in your place, and
Yep.
you know
And I guess it kind of like, also, like, as you were saying, it kind of like, instead of being, I guess, accessible within those hours or that time frame, you
yeah.
sort of like felt like you almost had to be accessible 24/7, as you were saying. And then, as you went into like finding ways of sort of like, I guess, structuring that again, so people don't get burned out, people don't get kind of like,
Mhm.
feeling of that, like, I always need to be there.
Yeah.
And I guess like that's a very important step too, because obviously, pandemic impacted a lot of mental health for a lot of people, like changing, I guess, the daily
Mhm.
life and daily way of doing things. So it's just really good to see kind of like, the thought process around that itself. And I guess, like, speaking a little bit about like some of the other companies in the group of Isurus, you obviously have the Isurus Studio, which you're the CEO of. And where does sort of like this company, I guess, you mentioned a little bit, of course, like it's sort of like core role, but where does it fit into the Isurus gaming, and how do you sort of like balance both roles with being the COO for Isurus Gaming and the CEO of Isurus Studio?
It's a really good question. Something to mention about the previous question. Something that we work a lot is with our psychologist really much. We work a lot of mindfulness and with our like a group therapy every time to know and to have a better environment, because you have to create an environment inside your house, because it was quite easy in a kind of way, because you went to the office, and when you went out of the office, your mind knew that your time when you have to work finished. When you're at your place, you don't know that. You're all the time connected. It's your office, your place where you sleep. So it's kind of hard in that way, but we really work a lot that, because the mental health is really important right now, especially. And regards Isurus Studio, it's really strange how the company fits into, it's not strange, but it's kind of like two paths they joined in the right moment. I believe that it's something that when I started in Isurus, I started talking with Kala about it, that I thought that Isurus needed other to evolve. I think that Isurus is the oldest team and the pioneer in this scene, in Latin American scene, where Kala, the founder and the other owner of Isurus Gaming, brought the idea from Korea, from Europe, and from the US to bring life the esports ecosystem in Latin America. And I believe that as the one who brought the idea and started developing, he also started helping other agents inside the ecosystem that the people that are part of the ecosystem knows as teams, players, publishers, tournament organizers. And he started working not only as a team, but also like an entrepreneur, and helping and developing also brands and others to be how to create this environment in Latin America. So with all his expertise and his know-how, Isurus also was like a kind of agency who helped other agents to develop their strategies. So I told him we need to build a company that helps that other agents inside the industry, or the other agents that are not from the industry, and they want to know how to insert themselves here. So that's why we created Isurus Studio, and especially it was during the pandemic, where many companies, also when you have traditional advertising was failing, and also in traditional sports, they lost a lot of money, and they started saying, hey, we are losing a lot of money, where we go? And that's how gaming, esports, also other social media, how social media started developing stronger than ever. Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram started to be that strong tool that helped many companies to evolve, right? And also when we make it really a strong this announcement, when we developed our documentary called Swim to Win, and also our comic, our documentary Swim to Win, and also we developed Isurus Music, where we bind music, where with League of Legends we make it a song from one of the greatest junglers in Latin America, Colodi, and we use animation to illustrate that a song. Remember him because he retired from playing, then he came back, but the time that he told that he was retiring, we made that song, and it's in the kind of way how we remind people how we can tell different stories in esports, and also in entertainment. You have to be to create different storytelling. The storytelling is really strong, and that's how you attach to people. That's how you bind with them, and in this industry. So when we created those different materials, we believe that it was time for us to evolve and to become this agency that we are right now, and because there are many, hey, how do you do this, how can we do that? And now we are 3 seasons of Swim to Win. We are producing a new documentary for our sponsors. We are now with we are with AMC Entertainment, developing their strategy in Latin America, creating different programs in Twitch, and creating their strategy there. So we are really happy what we have developed, and also where the industry is going. This industry is entertainment, and our team is just I don't know how to say it in English, but it's like how we expose what we do, you know, to express our know-how and to show how inside this world we create entertainment. So how we entertain people. And I think that the studio is the way that it's like, you know, in Disney you have the Imagineers who create, and they are all the time thinking we are not. It's not comparable, but in some kind of way it is how we have our creative department all the time developing ideas and how to create and to entertain people, and then it's some kind of way like that. You know, we are trying to create different areas to be more diversified in this ecosystem.
I think it's an amazing way of, like, you know, capitalizing on, you know, the knowledge and the know-how, as you were saying, you know, kind of like, how do you, again, help develop the ecosystem, because that's essentially what you guys are doing. And I think that's a really, you know, clever and smart way to doing it. And as you were saying, like, Isurus Gaming is one of the, you know, veterans, I guess, in a sense, in the Latin America, you know, gaming and esport industry. So hence it kind of like makes sense, but while also, you know, like having that, you know, new initiatives, the new, you know, ways of storytelling, as you were talking about. And I guess, like, you know, you have to share those links with us so we can put it in the description in the video below, because of course, like if it's kind of like open for public, I don't know if, like, you know, if it's an open link or people can watch it, but if they can, you know, we'll put that in the description below. And I guess, like, you know, you talked a little about, you know, the pandemic, the kind of like the ways you've been working around with, you know, the different kind of entities and companies in the Isurus Group. But if you're gonna, like, you know, look a little bit ahead, you know, maybe like, you know, 2-3 years ahead, what are some of the future trends you see coming up in the esport and gaming industry?
What do you mean of trends?
Kind of like, you know, what are some of the new, I guess, initiatives and you know, kind of like I guess, new initiatives and perspectives that you would see coming and that would happen in the industry in the next few years?
I believe that major entertainment companies will be more present in the industry. I believe that there's going to be like a merge from traditional television. Well, it's not news, but Netflix is, as we call it, the new television. Is entering into the gaming world. So, and it has been they had been developing different documentaries about League of Legends and different games, and they are more interested, and they know that is the future. I believe that there's going to be as well. It's no notice, but traditional sports, especially in the US and in Europe, they have been more present in the ecosystem. I believe that it's a time where some agents will evolve and others will be merged, or they will be consumed by others, and it depends on how every region tries to regulate this area, because as we know, it's not as traditional sports, because something I talk about in my thesis is about you cannot. It's a more semantic conversation about if esport is a sport or not. It's more about a new way of entertainment. So when you have a new way of entertainment and you regulate it and you see how to, because this is the future where you will get to the audiences that many brands cannot get right now. A target from 12 to 25 years. And the trendings that I see is a more fusion between the traditional world and the new world, as you can speak about it, for me is happening. This all the time we are speaking about when is going to come this change in the technological and in the platforms, and I think they're happening right now because the pandemic accelerate all this. So you see that Disney is getting into gaming. You see like AMC is getting into gaming. Netflix is buying, possibly is buying a future publisher where they're going to develop games. I believe that we are going to see a different kind of how we play games, especially according when you have to see virtual reality and how Microsoft is developing their lens to be more like a 360 experience inside a video game. I believe that Ready Player One, like the movie, is happening, and in some kind of way we are living it right now. And I believe that I believe we are going to live other reality, the one that we already live. The problem is how we are going to control it and how we are going to how to separate those realities, right? So I believe that we are moving into a more Ready Player One trending reality where
that's a fascinating reality, though. A little bit scary if it turns out too much as the movie.
Yeah, I believe there's no time in your life where you didn't play a video game, where it was a phone, the snake in the cell phone, where you have to get the dots all the time. So I believe that it's more, I believe that as Disney create a world where you go into a theme park and you believe an experience, I believe that nowadays gaming and virtual reality is going to be the next trending right now, to create another reality and to be part of it. I believe we are going there.
Well, it's going to be an exciting future for gaming and esport in general to see, where things are leading. And as you were saying, kind of like, the big, I guess in a sense, tech powerhouses, also elevating on that. There's always interesting to kind of like see, of course, like, bringing up names as AMC and Netflix and so forth like that, like taking a big stand on the industry. And I guess like to sort of like wrap things up here, and we talked, about your role, your responsibilities, your, the trends, some of the things you've been facing, the challenges in with the pandemic and everything. But if you would like to sort of like provide like a few key tips, for students, young professionals out there that want to be part of the esport industry, maybe work for a professional esport team and organization one day, perhaps on the operational side of things, what kind of key tips would you have for them?
I believe that the main thing that I always speak to the people that enter into Isurus is to have passion on what you do. I think that passion is like taking reference from Bob Iger, which I really admire really much as a CEO. He always says that you have to have passion on what you do. You have to be, you don't have to be like a person that conforms with is good enough, right? You have to be like a person that wants to achieve every day a little bit more, and that's what we are looking for. Although we are looking for professional, also more how to say entrepreneur. That you don't work in, because in this business you don't work from I don't know, from 12 to 4 a.m. 12 o'clock to 4 p.m. Right? This is more a 24/7, and to be more that you want to be part of something different, and to know what you have to do. Of course, you have a task and you have a role inside the company, but also not to be that role. You are something more. That's what we try to work here, and I believe that that's something that many agents inside the industry value a lot. To propose more, to be more creative, and to have passion in it. I believe that are those the keys, central keys to when if you want to work inside here, because I remember when I started my master that they told me that my first job, if I'm going to get a first job in esports, it's going to be free. You have to work for free. So I saw the faces. It was online, and you see the faces of the students, and many like open their eyes, say, I have to work for free.
Yeah.
and I said to myself, yeah, I don't have a problem. It's really fun,
Mm.
uh, because I love the industry,
Right.
although it has its pros and cons. But
Sure.
yeah, have
No,
passion one day.
I think it makes a lot of sense, and I mean, like at the end of the day, it comes down to your passion, right? And
Yeah,
when you have that passion too, you're willing to do more of what it takes. You're willing to take those first jobs and opportunities, and maybe not being paid, maybe do your part because you want to be part of it, and that's your journey. But at the same time, there's a lot of potential. There's a lot
yeah,
of growth, and there's so much happening in the space too, so that for those that are taking that opportunity and are willing to do what it takes, like you can go pretty far. And that's probably what people should have in back of their mind. Like, there's so much opportunities. It's an industry growing tremendously, and as you said too, for you guys, always looking for that passion and those people that are willing to do more what it takes.
yeah. It's this we have to work in the new generations to work more to how to deal with frustration, and not to be so accelerated and anxious to have in the short-term results.
Right.
So that's the main key to succeed in this industry, or in anyone, right?
Yeah,
Especially when you have to be creating all the time and being really patient, although we have to be all the time innovating and creating different stuff. But also to have the idea to be in the mid and long term, to have that mid and long term result, not a short term. If you are looking for a short term result, this is the wrong industry for you.
100%. So everyone, thanks for joining us all the way to the end. Make sure, if you like the video, make sure to hit that like button, and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well if you haven't already. You will get key tips from leaders like Juan every week, sharing their tips and insights with you. And Juan, just thank you once again for being here, taking the time, sharing your story with all of us. Really appreciate it. And we will talk very soon again.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, and hope you like it. And thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. And with every video we do, we always finish with "Vi snakkes," which means "see you later" in Norwegian. So there you go, John. Now you know some Norwegian.
Okay, something great. How do you say it?
Vi snakkes.
Oh, if I say it, I'm going to be like
you gotta try.
Okay, tell me again.
Vi snakkes.
Vi snakkes.
There you go. Perfect. Oh, look
Got
at
it.
that. Nice job, John. We'll talk soon.
Okay, bye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good one.